let's say, hypothetically, you forgot your girlfriend's birthday. And let's say, by divine intervention, she said, no worries. We can just do something for our anniversary in 2 months. And you're thinking, score. Plenty of time. Can't screw this up. Will come 2 months, and you've spent all your money on that new Daniel Defense AR-15. Now you got to figure something out. So I'm going to show you what I would do in that scenario.
I decided to make a cross necklace, and my 3D printer wasn't working at the time, so I decided to make it out of wood. 3D printer probably would have been easier for this project, but there is no right or wrong answer, or right or wrong way to do this. Once that was complete, I went on to make a negative of the cross out of using green sand, into which I will be casting it out of copper. Keep in mind that the tighter you pack the sand, the fewer imperfections your cast will have, and in general, the less post-cast work you'll have to do. You'll see what I mean in a minute. For all of the fans out there, this piece of copper showed up in my Dr. Stone episode where I tried casting wire using wood. I'm sure you are all well aware of that. Now, different alloys will have different flow rates, and that some will be more liquid than others, but in general, the hotter it is, the better it'll flow. Now, I wasn't too strict on what alloy I chose for this cast. I didn't think it particularly mattered, but I learned that lesson shortly. I went for a aluminum bronze here because aluminum bronze has a slightly lower melting point than pure copper. Now, right away, I noticed that something was off with this particular alloy. It didn't feel like my file was grabbing onto the metal, but that'll come up in a minute. Now here my sand was a little bit too wet for me to be casting, and it did cause a defect in the end product, but it turned out alright. I was actually pretty happy with it in the end. Notice the vertical is a bit shorter than the previous cast, and that is because the sand was just too wet, so the copper didn't flow properly. And right away I could tell that my file was biting into the copper a little bit better, so I knew this was a much softer metal and that it probably wouldn't crack again. The previous try cracked while I was filing it, probably due to the fact the aluminum content was too high. Some random guy on Reddit I read said that above 15% aluminum in your aluminum bronze, it gets extremely hard and extremely brittle. So thanks, random guy on the Reddit. And once I had everything properly shaped, and the calipers are nice, but generally I eyeballed it for aesthetic purposes. Um, Once I had everything shaved off and right to where I wanted it, I was going to move into polishing. But first, I thought I might add a slight bevel to the lower half, just for aesthetic purposes. It's also important to remember at this point to not tighten down your vise too hard on your piece, as all of those little dents will show through after polishing, unless you polish a lot. Live and learn, though. I went ahead and left the sides a little rough. I thought it gave it a unique look as compared to other similar necklaces. It shows that this one was truly homemade. And on to the final polish with the Harbor Freight polish kit. It was like $10. Well worth it if you ask me.